Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tales from the Fandom, the podcast that brings a special guest out of the multiverse and straight to you. Today's episode is brought to you by In the Reads. In the Reads provides beautiful, affordable artwork of the vibrant worlds found within your favorite books, TV, and films. From all wood bookmarks featuring illustrations and quotes from such fandoms as Star Wars, The Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Outlanders, and more, to fantasy and real-life maps drawn in the style of Tolkien. Go to inthereads.com and check out what is available. Like something? Use code TALES10 at checkout to get 10% off your order. A link will be in the show notes along with the code. And now, let's get to the episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Tales from the Fandom. We are in the month of November. I cannot believe that we are almost done with yet another year. How time moves, I don't understand, but I am so excited to have Adrienne joining me today. You might know her from Instagram as Adri.Nyan, and I'll make sure that the spelling is in the show notes so that way you can check her out on her various social medias. Adrienne, how are you doing today?
Hi, David. I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I am doing okay today. Today was a fairly hectic day, but things have settled down, and now you and I are here together to talk fandom stuff.
Yay! Yeah, I've been looking forward to it all day.
I know you've been a little busy as of late, and is like, oh gosh, like you're doing the worst thing in the world, which is moving.
Oh my gosh, I know. I came back from 2 conventions in the past month, I think. One of them was on the 23rd of July, which is what it is right now. Or during the time of recording this, apologize. And then I had Otakon the weekend after. And then when I came back from Otakon, I had to move into my apartment like the day after. So that was... It is a time right now, and gosh, it's happening fast.
It is, and by the time this episode will come out, you'll have been in your new place for a couple of months at least, and hopefully by then you'll be settled in and everything is good to go.
Oh yeah, I'll be in a much happier headspace by the time this episode comes out.
It is very rare to have a guest come on, such as yourself, and for me to not know any of the fandoms that we're going to talk about, and by not know them, like I've heard of all 3 of them, but I'm not familiar with them. I don't play them, or I haven't watched the one that's a show, but it's awesome because I get to learn and ask questions about them from somebody that does know them and is interested in them, like you are.
Woohoo! You get to learn new things every day, and you're learning about 3 new things.
I know, it's wonderful. So the first one we're going to talk about is Genshin Impact, and I remember seeing number 1. I saw I think it the whole what came first, the chicken or the egg? For me, Genshin Impact, what came first was the cosplays, and then learning about the video game second.
Mm-hmm.
How did you first get into Genshin Impact? Was it through cosplay, or was it through actually playing the game?
So it was actually by playing the game, and it was actually because I learned about it from my friends. I was in a Discord group, and someone was telling me, "Hey, Adrienne, you should play this game. It's really fun. The art style is cool. The character design is great. You should check it out." And I kind of brushed it off, I'm not really looking to get into any new games. And then I started streaming on Twitch. And then it was a different friend from a different friend group who was like, "Adrienne, you should totally stream yourself playing Genshin Impact." And I was like, you know what? What the heck is this? Why are so many people telling me to try it out? Is it really all that? And I download the game, and it's at the time, in late summer, early fall of 2020. So it's kind of like that moment of COVID where I'm like, what am I going to do right now? Like, what am I going to spend my time on? And like the file was so big. I was like, geez, like, why is this file so big? And why is it taking so long to download? I get to playing it and I'm like, this is just Breath of the Wild with anime girls. And that's basically what it is at first. But then you get to the story and then you get to the different characters and it's like, oh my gosh, this is really fun. And I won't spoil it for you, David, but I am just going to tell you to check it out. Yeah.
That was the first thing that besides the cosplay, because the cosplay popped up first for me. But then when I started hearing about the game, that's what everyone kept saying, is that it's Breath of the Wild. It's Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but it's just like one of the people said, oh yeah, it's like they stole the code and then they added in like a bunch of voice acting and stuff.
Yeah, honestly, that's kind of pretty. I've played Breath of the Wild, loved it, by the way. And when I was streaming this game, I was like, what the heck? This is just Breath of the Wild with better, like, with anime girls. And they're, like, really cute. And the voice acting is amazing because, Link obviously doesn't talk. He's just like, huh? And so, you don't get to hear, like, oh my gosh, that voice actor was in this anime that I also watched. And it's like, you get to hear the voices of like some of your favorite anime characters that you've like loved. And it's like, whoa, they're in a video game that I'm playing. And also you get to develop a gachapon addiction, which is what happened to me. Gosh, don't be like me, guys. And if you are, do it responsibly.
We'll talk about that in a second. With what hooked you for playing Genshin? Because obviously the gameplay is again similar to Breath of the Wild. But what was the hook? What got you to keep playing it after that first time?
So I have never played a game where you had to like level up your characters, build the characters up. Different like element stuff. I mean, like I played Pokemon before and I've had them on a team, but it wasn't like this before. And I think I was so into it because it was so new. And also the lore was definitely just very interesting to me, and definitely the character designs. I just remember like every time a hot guy came on screen, I was like, okay, maybe I should keep playing. And yeah, it was just a mix of all of the qualities from the game, like the lore, the character designs, just the elements of, building your characters and like leveling them up was like really cool to me. I never played anything like that before.
Who's your favorite character? And I know there's so many. Like if you can't just pick one, like it's okay if you pick like a top 3 or a top 5. That's cool too.
Yeah, no, I might be a little biased, but I do have like I'll say a top 3. So for sure, one of them is Zhongli, and he is just a guy with, I'm trying to not spoil it. He's a guy with geo powers from Liyue. So yeah, Zhongli's voiced by Keith Silverstein, and it's just, oh my gosh, his voice is so smooth and his character design is just quite attractive and quite handsome, if I say so myself. So he is one of my favorites from when I first saw him and was introduced to him. Another character that I really love is Raiden Shogun, and she is the Archon of Inazuma, and she's voiced by Ann Yatko, who is one of my friends, and she is lovely. She also does the voice of Nobara from Jujutsu Kaisen, but Raiden Shogun's design and also like her storyline and her lore is just so good. And it's definitely made that storyline plot and the Inazuma arc one of my favorites thus far. I'm trying to like think of a third one because I've cosplayed a bunch of characters from it, but I'm like, just because I cosplay them, it doesn't mean they're my like exact favorite. I'm thinking of like who my favorite, I think one of my favorites is Fischl. That's my third because she's this like, kid who just created this imaginary world for herself, and she's got that like, she's got the kind of personality where she like LARPs in real life just because she's like, there's this word in Japanese for a character who like, in like anime, who they're just like, oh, I'm in this world of my own and I'm better than everybody, but I just can't think of it. And that's pretty much her. She basically like, has this like whole world that she made for herself, and she like talks like she's a princess, or like she calls herself the Prinzessin de Vertelung, and it's like a whole thing. You'd have to meet her in the game if you don't already know who she is. She's just so interesting, and her character design is also really cool, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, she's interesting. That's all I can say.
I think you were streaming recently, prior to this recording, way back a little bit, where you had run into her and she was like doing a whole play pretend, and like the characters are going along with it. Like,
oh my god, yes.
Yep.
Yes,
okay.
That's her. Mm-hmm.
I totally, I totally understand who you're talking about now. It's like, that sounds so familiar. And I was like, yeah.
Yes. And she has the raven with her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you mentioned the gotcha aspect, gachapon aspect of it, and I always see it from, again, the people that I know that cosplay from Genshin, and they're into Genshin, about, is it wishes? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah. Wishing. And it's like how many times or how many pulls or what they need to do. What is that, and how dangerous is it?
David, have you ever been to Las Vegas?
A long time ago, but I have done gambling on cruise ships.
Oh, absolutely. It's like that. So imagine you're like, it's just like a slot machine where you're like putting in more money every time, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get it this time. And then you just, after you finally reason to yourself, I guess I'm not gonna get them, then you realize how much money you're out, because you're like, oh god, what have I done? So in the Genshin, I think what makes Genshin Impact's wish system so addictive is like definitely the visual aspect. That's one of the things. And I think the other one is just the risk, because it's like, oh my gosh, how many pulls can I get this character in? And like, you have to work for the primo gems sometimes. Like, you get primo gems by like opening up chests, completing daily commissions. Sometimes they give you like 100 for the maintenance that they do on the game. So it's just kind of like, it takes some time to get them, unless you like actually pay for them.
Okay.
So let's just say that you have, 1,600 primo gems. That is enough for a 10 pull. There's like something called a pity system. I won't get into that right now. I will just like explain, so you do a 10 pull with the 1,600 because it's a 160 primo gems per one pull. And you do it on the limited character banner. And let's just say Zhongli is on it. So you do a 10 pull, and every 10 pull they guarantee at least a 4-star character. But the character on the banner is a 5-star. And, you know, you're like pulling, and then you see the purple wish is a 4-star. The gold one is a 5-star. It is like very like a 5% chance. I'm not sure of the exact percentage right now, but it is so rare to get, you know, the character that you want on like the first 10 pulls or first pull or something like that. But I think it's just so addicting to get into it and be like, you know what? I didn't get him. I'm going to just do another. So you spend like $50 on like a certain set of primo gems and you just keep pulling until you get it. And I think also what makes it addicting is the time limit aspect of like Zhongli, for example, being on a banner for like 38 days or 28 days or something like that. And it's like, oh my God, I really want that character. Like, he's so good. I just have to have him. And so people like myself, that's a self-report right there. You know, like, just spend the money, because if you do have disposable income, you just want to spend your money until you get them. And then afterwards, you can feel the regret seeping from your skin afterwards. Like, oh my God, did I really just spend $100 to get pixels in a game? And then you realize, like, get that PayPal notification like, hey, Adrienne, you just spent $100 at MiHoYo. And I'm like, damn, guess you're right. I guess you're right.
That, like, I knew, like, and is it with Genshin Impact, is it pay to like win, or is it just you're paying to get these characters and they're just extra?
Yeah, it's kind of like that, because it really doesn't matter, like, you know, what character you have. It just kind of depends on how you build them, which is a whole other can of worms, because you have to farm for artifacts on like what to use for different characters, and different characters have different like artifacts they could use, different sets, and you know, that increases attack, increases defense, increases like, you know, their elemental power, stuff like that. And it's a lot of work, actually. So it's kind of like, it's mostly a time investment on like to win, but like these characters, you know, like have specific abilities that make them really good or just different. Like Zhongli has the ability to like create pillars out of Geo, and it also creates a shield for himself. And I really wanted that, because I really didn't have a great shield character that protected like my team, so I really wanted that. So, and just the idea of like FOMO.
Yep.
The first time he came around, I spent like $30 and I got D-Luke instead. And, you know, he's a really great character. Like, apparently people have spent like thousands of dollars to get him. And it's only like the people who don't want him that usually get him. That's like, that was the meme for a bit. But, you know, I was like, I didn't get him last time. I'm definitely going to get him now. And I did. And at what cost? You know, I have to ask myself, at what cost? Because it was a lot, but I think it was worth it. He's still on my team a year and a half later. So, yeah.
Okay. So I guess if I got into the game, I would have to just be like, I'm just playing with whoever I get, with whatever free things I get, and that is it.
Oh, absolutely. You can do that. I think you'll just find yourself being like, oh, but that character can do that. So I should wish to get more characters and get more diverse team options. But you can definitely play for free, but I'm just letting you know this is a side effect of playing this kind of game. It's like, oh, I could have that one. But I mean, it's possible. I have not seen an actual person play like that without getting tired of having the same team.
Stay tuned for a new podcast called Genshin Impact Anonymous, where we discuss all the stuff that went wrong.
Oh my gosh, no, because why did I literally see a confessions Reddit post and someone was like, I took my mom's card and spent money on Genshin Impact and now she's in debt. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is literally a minor too. And what I think they stole their mom's credit card and spent $400 to Wish on the game. And I think the mom paid back the credit card debt, but it's like, oh my gosh, like this is very dangerous for children, especially who don't understand the concept of, money spending and like, they don't know how like, gambling is extremely addictive and it's a really bad habit. And like, I'm glad I was able to get into this while I had a job. So, I could actually use my disposable income on this. Whereas, there's a lot of, like, especially on my TikToks, because I make Genshin Impact content, there's a lot of minors who are following me and they're like, oh, haha, I spent this much money on this character. Like, I spent that much. And I'm like, that's really not something to be proud of. Like, you don't have a way to make back that money unless it's like birthday money, then that's fine. Do it with that what you can. But it's like, people are actually making really terrible decisions over a game, It's really dangerous.
Yeah, I'm right there with the understanding. There was like, oh gosh, there was something years ago, like totally off topic, but like way back when the internet was where you had to call phone numbers to connect to it. One of the things that I was into, it used to be like an 800 number, but if it was busy, they were like, here's some alternate numbers, and they were long distance numbers. And let me tell you that I racked up a long distance charge playing on the way back internet, to the point where my parents got the bill and were like, yeah, you need to pay us back for this and you need to stop it.
Oh no. That's awful.
Kids, the internet back then needed phone lines and screechy modems and connecting, and yeah, if you couldn't connect to like the 10 servers that were available in your hometown, you'd have to go somewhere else to get your internet.
Oh yeah. Kids, I'm still young, but like kids, especially nowadays, have never even heard of a dial-up tone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, some people will get PTSD from that. But kids now, they're like, what is that? What's that beeping? And it's like, oh, how the times have changed, huh?
I tell my kids that all the time. Like, it's just joking back and forth about like, back in our day, we had to like carry books around for school and write in with paper. And we didn't have like just submitting stuff online or looking at a computer or anything like that. It's always something. Now it's like, oh, there's something new. Let me figure it out.
I know, right? That's how you have to stay on time or like stay with the times. It's just like, especially since I'm, working in the tech industry, it's like, I have to figure out how to use these things or else I'm going to be out of job in like 20 years, So, gosh, but anyways, yeah. So kids, spend your money wisely and don't spend your parents' money. Long story short.
Yes. And enjoy Genshin Impact, even if you don't have the special character with the special costume or weapon or whatever it may be. Because eventually you will get it at some point, somehow.
Yes. And I always say, please, if you're going to plan on using your parents' funds, please ask them first, just so that hopefully maybe they'll teach you a lesson about spending money.
Absolutely. So, on top of Genshin Impact, the next topic, next fandom that we're going to talk about is something that I've saw pop up on my Netflix at one point, and I know people were watching it, and you actually made a comment on your answers that we'll talk about in a moment. But the show is called Beastars.
Yes.
Now, what is Beastars? Because when it came out, I was like, oh, this kind of looks like an adult kind of like Zootopia, like same type of animal character, anthropomorphic animals like doing stuff.
Yeah. I'm okay. So I run into this problem every time I try to describe what Beastars is because it essentially is like Zootopia with more adult themes. And, I think what you're assuming from what I said, and I know that a lot of people have this assumption, um, you know, and I'm not sure the ages of your viewers, but the show is definitely adult themed.
Right.
And I think what happened is there was a scene that went kind of viral, like either on Twitter or like TikTok, something, probably not TikTok, but there was just a scene that was like taken very much so out of context, and it was a bit sexual, but it kind of leads up to like the characterization of another, like of a Haru, I think, which is the rabbit. But Beastars is about this kid named Legoshi, and he is a wolf, and it's basically like the school that he attends called Cherryton Academy, where he's in high school, and there's just different species of animals ranging from like prey and predator type animals, and they're kind of in this situation of like, oh yeah, we know back then that like predators used to eat like prey animals. It's just kind of like how Zootopia starts out, right? Like with that skit scene. So the show starts out with, one of the students gets murdered. And he was like killed and eaten by one of the students. So it's just kind of like this huge mystery thing, and it's like, it's gory, it's violent, it's got, cursing, but it's also like a whole can of worms that end up opening up with, the ideas of like morality between the predator and prey species, and like how they tackle that in this society where people used to eat people, or did they used to eat people? You'll have to read or watch it to figure it out. And it's gosh, it's like, wow, it's not to say like it says a lot about society, but it kind of does. And just how coming of age is one of the themes, and just like understanding things, and that you just, a world that you never really thought that could be, like, it's hard to describe. But just like, yeah, like dealing with, your instincts and what your genetics are telling you to do versus like how you should really interact with people. It's interesting. I highly recommend it. But yeah, it goes into like characterization of just people in general, and it's really good. I'm trying to say all this without spoiling it for you.
I totally appreciate that, because I know I have it on my my Netflix like to watch list and everything. Now, how did you discover Beastars? Was it just something where it's like, oh, it popped up because it was on your recommended list, or did somebody say like, hey, you need to watch this?
It was kind of like both a little bit. I think actually someone recommended it to me first. Someone that I worked with in college. I think he told me about it, and I was like, "Oh, like is that like a furry thing?" And I mean that to like no disrespect to any furry communities. I respect you guys, but I was just kind of like, "What is that?" Like, I'm not sure if I'm going to be into that, but I mean, what's it about? And he told me like, "Oh, there's an anime coming out. Maybe you should watch it." And I think COVID hit, and yeah, eventually Netflix did come out with the first season of Beastars. And I remember watching it and I was like, this is weird, but you know what? I'm getting kind of hooked. So, and it didn't end up being weird. I think it was just like the art style of like the 3D-ish animation with animals. And I just, like, what happened next was just some kind of weird mystery. I binged the anime, and then I got caught up to the manga in about 3 days after finishing that first season. And I think let me see, there was about 100 chapters out, or 115, something like that. I just read it every day, every night. I would stay up until like 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning reading Beastars, and then I'd go to sleep, I'd wake up, and I'd read Beastars again. And I was just so obsessed with finding out like what happens next, what is the mystery, like who does that, what happens next. And there's still like a whole plot of romance that happens while there's like, murders happening also. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's just like a TV show, like a drama, but it's just with animals, and it's really good. But yeah, so the manga is finished now. I will say, if you watch it, do not watch this around kids. There's just a lot of adult themes in it. So.
Yeah, it's not like Zootopia where, they figure out what's going on and everything's nice, and then there's oh gosh, what's her name? Shakira, the gazelle, singing a song at the end.
Oh my gosh, yeah, this is not, Shakira is not in this. No. Yeah. Just make sure your kids don't find it and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna watch Zootopia." And like, "Oh, please don't click on that one."
Now, is there something special, like do they have like they're just like characters going through school and dealing with school stuff, or is there like something else to them? Is it like is it Beastars just like the name, or is it like superpowers? Do they have superpowers? Am I mistaken?
Okay, so yeah, I kind of just like realized like, gosh, I didn't even explain the name. And the Beastar is kind of like a person chosen by like this council who they decide like, oh, it's a person, or like an animal who unites people when they need it. Like someone who can communicate well with both predator types and prey types, and just kind of like, it's more kind of like a public figure type role where they just, it's supposed to be kind of like an animal that can unite both sides. Okay. If that makes sense?
Yeah.
But there is no like powers really. They're just, it goes into school stuff, but I would say the majority of it is actually themes like from the outside world, if that makes sense. Like there's like mafia themes in it. There's like just trafficking is there? Gosh, I need to remember correctly. It's been 2 years since I've read it, but I'm like still it's just been so long. When you absorb that much energy, or not energy, when you absorb that much information at once, it's like, what's happening? What is this? Legoshi is, pun intended, he's a beast. He's like so good. Character development is top tier, and just like his character is just really good. Yeah. I'm definitely rambled there.
That's okay. Is Legoshi your favorite character?
In this series, yes. I think I mentioned in my answers that I don't know if I have a favorite character, but I would happen to say that Legoshi in Beastars he's my favorite character for sure.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely something that I know that the people that I like have talked about it, they've always said like good things about it. But it's something that never really gets brought up again, and it's not something that seems to like rotate through the. Maybe it's because it's on Netflix, or the subject matter doesn't seem to come up a lot like other shows or other, like other anime traditionally does, like having that cycle of conversation around it. And even when you had sent in your thing about what you wanted to talk about, I was like, oh, like this is something that I kind of know about, but it's like it's gonna be cool to listen about.
Yeah, and I think why people are not super keen on talking about it as much is because they're afraid probably of the reaction that's probably going to come with it. Like, oh, like that's a furry show, isn't it? And it's like, even if it was, it's still good, like, but I think people are just not so like ready to talk about it, because what people think of it at first is like, oh, it's kind of sexual, isn't it? And it's like, no, not really. And like, well, what happens in it? Like, well, I can't really tell you without the plot. Like, there's just so much going on, and it's like about like kids, like people and teens, like battling like urges, and also like fighting each other, but also fighting the world and society. And it's like, oh, okay, well, it's a lot. It's a lot, is what I can say.
It's interesting, and I guess it's commendable that the show is so good with like the mystery and stuff that you don't want to spoil it. So it makes it that much more difficult to be like, you should watch it, but I can't tell you anything about it.
You should watch it, but be prepared. And I'm trying not to, because I'm just remembering the main like plot points of like, it's a really good show. Like, if you're a theater kid, maybe check it out too, because one of the main points is that like they're all in drama club, and they fight, like argue and stuff, and people being divas. But it's also like, just romance stuff, and it's like a love triangle happening in the first season at least. But it's also like two guys, like Legoshi and Louis, who are like fighting each other, like just the different like masculinities, but one is a wolf and one is a deer. And it's kind of like, well, it's something. Okay. Yeah, it gets a little crazy.
If you have time and you're listening to this, make sure to make some time to check it out on Netflix. And then you can email talesfromthefandom@gmail.com and be like, here's my thoughts about Beastars. And I'll say, okay, because I'll be watching it. I've got time in my future. There's a bunch of things I gotta watch, but I'm pretty sure I can knock Beastars out in a couple days.
Oh yeah, I think once you actually get into the meat of the show, then you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, like what happens next? And it's funny and just good, and I think the voice acting is also great, and just the characterizations of every character is, they get into it as the manga goes on, especially. So you get to find out more about each character as time goes on, and it's just so interesting. Like that, the author, Paru Itagaki, just spent so much time like characterizing everyone and just making this world, and it's just really well thought out, and I applaud her a lot.
I'm definitely going to have to check it out. I mean, I love when I get people talking about things that I haven't seen or played or checked out, and it's like, it makes me want to take a look and see, like, what hooked you? Will it hook me? Maybe, fingers crossed. But I do love learning about the new things that I have stumbled across and get to hear about from you. So thank you.
Yeah, of course. Please DM me after you finish the season. Or if you just get into it, let me know. Let me know what you think.
I will. I know your Instagram. I know how to send a message. Bam! Send a message.
Got you.
We're gonna talk about another thing that I guess, as I'm looking at it right now, I have so many questions about. And it's Twisted Wonderland. It's something by Disney, and my best guess is it's a mobile game, correct?
Yes, it is.
And before we started recording, you said it had been out in Japan for a while, and it just, I guess by the time this episode comes out, it'll have been out for probably like a good 5 or 6 months at this point.
Mm-hmm.
What is Twisted Wonderland?
So, Twisted Wonderland is a game developed by Disney Japan, and it's also a gachapon, let me say that, but in the lore, it's basically you are a human who one day gets transported into this different world, and everybody is able to like use magic, and so you're transported to this school called Night Raven College, or like Night Raven Academy, I think is also one of the translations, I think, I'm not sure, but Night Raven College, and there's 7 different houses, and they're based on different Disney movies, so I'll get into that later, which ones are which, but basically you're transported in during the entrance ceremony, and basically the magic mirror from like Snow White is the one, kind of like a sorting hat from Harry Potter, basically. And, the headmaster kind of just pushes you in front because he thinks that you're entering into the school, which is an all-boys school, so it's your gender is not specified in the game. He just kind of like pushes you in front of the mirror, and he's like, all right, which house do they belong in? And the mirror is like, none. And they're like, oh my gosh, like, what's going on? Why is this person here? And they're like, the headmaster's like, what are you talking about? This person doesn't belong in a dorm. Like, they're obviously here. They've been chosen by the magic mirror, and they've been transported here. And the mirror is like, this person doesn't have any magic at all. And like, they're not even from this universe, so they can't be transported home. And so you're just kind of like stuck in this college, which is basically like, it's a high school, but you're stuck. And so you meet characters along the way. You get this little magical cat who kind of crashes the entrance ceremony, but pity is taken upon him by the headmaster because he's a talking cat that can do magic, and you're a human who has no magic. So you're actually counted as 1 student instead of 2. And you actually get to sleep in this old dorm with like ghosts in it, and it's really crappy. And so the 7 different dorms, you've got Heart's Lobule, which is actually based on the Queen of Hearts villain from Alice in Wonderland. Then you've got Savannah Claw, which is based off of The Lion King. You've got Octavinelle, which is based off of Ursula from The Little Mermaid. And Savannah Claw was based off of Scar, by the way, from The Lion King. You've got Scarabia, which is similar to Arabian Nights, so Aladdin.
Okay.
The fifth one is Pomefiore, which is based off of the evil queen from Snow White. I know this is a lot. Number 6 is Ignahide, which is based off of Hades from Hercules. And the 7th one is Diasomnia, which is Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty. And so Disney, basically what they did is they took their movies and their villains and made them into cute anime guys and said, we're gonna make this a game and we're gonna make them be shoujo. And we're also gonna make it a gachapon so that you can get different characters and different skins. So yeah, it's kind of funny. Like every character is based off, most characters are based off of Disney movie characters. Yeah, that is my TLDR, which is long.
What do you do in the game?
So, as the player, basically it's like a JRPG where you're just like following along with the storylines, and then there's some mini games and stuff, but basically you just go through being a student, but like different houses have different storylines, and basically you just kind of deal with like the childhood problems or just past traumas of each house dorm leader. It's just kind of like free therapy for them, but actually like they take kind of like their trauma and like project it onto like other people. And it's like causing problems in the school. So you're like trying to solve the problems of the school, but like honing in on that specific character and being like, why are you like being so mean right now? And like some of the ways that they're being mean or just being like terrible people is similar to how like the villain would do it in the movies.
Okay.
So like the first one, I'm not like it's not super spoilery because it's like kind of the first thing that happens almost. It's like one of the first things. The dorm leader of Heart's Lobule, Riddle, is like directly based off the Queen of Hearts because, you know, she has so many rules that you need to follow. And it's kind of like that's where the problems start ensuing is he is so bad about like enforcing. He's good at enforcing the rules, but at other people's expenses. And, you know, you just kind of have to get into like not the trenches, but just kind of figure out like, why are you being like that? And we have to stop him from acting like a tyrant, basically. And so you just kind of go through how to solve the issues, but then right now there's about, in Japan, 6 houses out already, but I think in the US one just got to the 5th. Because I think they're just doing the localization and translations like really fast. But yeah, so it's a lot. It is a lot also.
I know when I saw the character art looks really cool because I saw when it was announced, I was like, oh, what? I don't know what this is. So let me take a look and check it out. And I thought it was going to be like a dating sim. I was like, okay, you know, all these characters are based off of the villains and everything, but you know, maybe you'll find like that one that you make that connection with and everything, but totally not correct.
No, I kind of thought when I saw it too, like, oh, this is definitely a dating sim. It looks like a dating sim, like these characters are lined up. It turns out it is not a dating sim. First of all, like a lot of the characters are like minors, and they even have like ages of the characters on in the game, like when you get them, or like even online. But it's just like a game where you just solve people's problems for them, and it's also simultaneously a rhythm game, question mark, and also
What?
also like a fighting game. Yeah, it's like a fighting game too, where you have to build up your characters and level them up because there's fighting in the game. Like what?
Okay. Like I know rhythm games, and I'm cool with rhythm games. They're good stuff, but it's like, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was like, I started like looking up gameplays, and the gameplays would not include like the rhythm game aspect. So I was like, I just did not know it was there. But when I looked up the game on Google, and I was like, yeah, this is a rhythm game. I was like, how does that make sense? Like, where does the rhythm game even fall into like attractive character lore, or just, like it is, I don't know. I think Disney Japan just like said, we're going to take all of the aspects we love about mobile games and put them into one.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
Yeah.
Now, I guess what hooked you with the game? Why is this something where you're like, I love this game. I need to talk about it. Like what was the hook for you?
I think I'm biased because I love Disney. I grew up. Now, I wouldn't call myself a Disney adult, and there's nothing wrong with being a Disney adult. I'm just not so dedicated and super, super into like Disney. Like, I will do Disney over everything. I grew up with parents, so I was very lucky to be able to go to Disney almost every year, if not every other year. And so, I just kind of grew up with this appreciation and love for Disney and Disney movies. And, we used to sing them, sing songs from it, like Whole New World and yada yada, just Disney stuff. So I grew up with that kind of environment where I was able to really base a lot of my childhood from it. And I just thought the concept of like Disney making like what I thought was going to be an otome game. And it's not a dating game, but I was like, okay, well, the story's still really interesting. And I love anime. And I love Disney. And this is like a perfect combination because the character designs are also really good. And the lore, the story, like it's all fully voice acted. And like I said, with Genshin Impact, it's like you can hear a lot of like people are voice actors of anime as well. For example, my favorite character from Twisted Wonderland is Idia Shroud, who is the person, like the character based off of Hades from Hercules, but his voice is actually the same voice actor who did Shigaraki from My Hero Academia. So it's just kind of like, oh, like there's a lot of similar and famous voice actors from this game who I also know from other things. And I think that's what I also really like about just an anime, is that if their voice acting is good. So that hooked me as well. But the top things, Disney, love it. Character design, interesting. And the story, just the concept is so, it's new for me.
Now you said that that there's also like the gachapon aspect of this. What are you, because with Genshin Impact I totally understand, like you're getting like characters and things of that nature. What are you getting in this game?
It's also characters to like I said, there's a fighting kind of aspect to it. Like there's parts of the lore where you fight like other people or like just NPCs and stuff. So you kind of have to get like pull for characters to build and to be able to fight those people with. So yeah, it's just mostly for the aspect of like fighting. But also I think what is more addicting about this rather than Genshin is that there's like limited character skins with each character. Like they had like a bridal event where like my favorite character had like a groom outfit that he was wearing. They have like Halloween events where like there's characters who are wearing like Halloween costumes.
Okay.
And like I think along with you winning that character, you can also like get exclusive voice lines and exclusive like pictures, and like the art for it is like good. And I mean, you could technically go onto Google and just download the picture, but it's like it's different to just have it, you know? And just like the voice lines, and yeah, just I mean, I think also like there's some different like spells that they have that are like character specific, but I'm not certain about it, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that great at building my characters on Twisted Wonderland. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I know it's out. If you're interested, check it out. And I guess the caution is, again, you know, be careful with your money if you're paying for things, you know, and I guess enjoy the game, because it sounds definitely like there's more to it than like my original thought that it was a dating sim. So
Oh yeah. There's definitely no dating. No dating at all. And it's like, you would think it was dating, but then it's like, you get to the actual meat of the game and it's like, yeah, these students aren't even interested in dating. There's just problems that you have to solve.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now we're going to talk all about the fandom of Adrienne, because you know, on Instagram, the way I find people sometimes is I get to stumble across wonderful cosplays of different, you know, characters from video games and movies and anime and Genshin Impact and everything under the sun. And I happened to stumble across your account thanks to somebody sharing out your work on their story. And thankfully, you know, I love when people do that on Instagram. But you cosplay, and you also stream on Twitch. I guess my first question is, how did you get into cosplay? Like, what was your first like desire to be like, I'm gonna dress up as a character?
Ah, man, I don't think you know how much I really love this question. So it's actually my older cousins who got me into cosplay, and they actually got me into anime too. When I was young, I'd say about 8 or 9, something like that, my cousins went to their first Otakon. Maybe not first. They'd been going to Otakon every year because, so I'm from the DMV area. If you don't know what that is, that's the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And, so Otakon was originally in Baltimore, and that was like not too far of a drive for us. So my cousins loved anime. They grew up playing video games, watching anime, and so they would go to Otakon, and I was like, oh, like, what's that? And, you know, it was just kind of like this pipeline of like learning about what anime was. And I really wanted to go when I was younger, and my mom was like, at the time was very strict about like letting me watch anime. She didn't really know what it was and didn't really trust it, but eventually, after a couple years of like finally convincing her. I was about 14 when I went to my first convention. And so before that, my cousin had been cosplaying and building like his own stuff. It's funny because we had like this event where, he had like a cosplay competition at like, I think it was Suncoast. And he told us all to come and we all rooted for him. And he made like this blade, sword blade head thing. Oh gosh, I don't even know what it's called. Out of like a Wiimote. And he cosplayed Ichigo from Bleach. And it was kind of biased. He told us all to come. So all my extended family and us came to root for him. And obviously he won because it was crowd favorite. But I think that was like one of my first interactions with cosplay. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what are you wearing? Like, what is this? This is so cool. Like, so that's kind of how I found out. When I told him I would be attending my first Otakon in 2012, he was like, you should wear a costume. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, that sounds really cool. Like, I just don't know a character. Long story short, I cosplayed as Maka from Soul Eater, and I was about 14 years old. I didn't have knowledge on like how to do my makeup or like wigs, so I just used my own black hair, even though the character has blonde hair. And my cousin made a prop for me, so it's just kind of like this little kid carrying around this huge wooden scythe. And it's like, oh my gosh, I think I was just addicted because, I was like getting asked for pictures. It was like so much fun. And I was just like, this is addicting. I love this. I'm going to do this every year. And, I was a kid, so I didn't have money to like actually buy more costumes. So the next year I used the same costume. And then the next year I branched out and did like 2 different ones. But it's just kind of like getting more comfortable with it as I grew up. And yeah, I have my cousins to thank for that. So yeah, it was really their fault. No, I'm just kidding.
Now, for like scrolling through your Instagram page, you have a number of different characters across a wide range of fandoms. Is as far as like your choice of who to cosplay, is it more of that you connect with the character? Is it more that you're like, I really like that design or costume, I want to do that? Or is it mixture of both?
It's a mix of both, for sure. Like, for example, I think I mentioned earlier when I was talking about Genshin is that, I cosplay the character, even though they're not like my favorites. For example, let's say Beidou. Beidou, I love her design. She is so hot. She is so cool. I love her character. I haven't built her at all in Genshin. I think she's still level 1 or something like that. It's really sad. But her character design and like her personality is so nice and like so fun. I think what really gets me is like the character's personality. Can I pull it off? Like, am I going to enjoy myself? Am I going to like feel powerful wearing them? It's just kind of like a mix of, am I going to like how I look, or am I going to enjoy being in this character's costume in this time? Like, that's what mostly gets me. Most of the time I do tend to like want to like the characters before I actually cosplay them, because I probably wouldn't present myself very well if I didn't like the character before I did anything. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. Do you have any favorite characters that you've done where you're like, you know what, dang, this just worked out so well, I rock that character?
Yeah, Beidou for sure. Like, I hate to mention her again, but I think that her costume gave me so much confidence in myself. I think it was kind of extended of like, Beto is very confident in herself, so I want to be really confident too. And not only that, but I bought the costume. I buy pretty much every cosplay I wear because I cannot sew to save my life. But I think just like out of the bag right away, usually I have to like get things tailored because it just doesn't fit right. And just out of the bag, it fit like a glove. And I have not had that happen to me before. Like, I think, last time was when I was a kid and like I was smaller, like, but, now that, I've grown up and freshman 15, whatever, college, life, etc. There's just been bouts of like, not to get personal, but like bouts of like weight loss and weight gain and just trying to go through that, which is also something just cosplayers and people in general have to face. But I think putting on that costume was like, holy crap, this fits really well. And my confidence is just through the roof right now. And I just felt really good about myself wearing it. It went really well. The only thing I would fix is that the thigh highs just fall down. So I might think about like getting tights and sewing them on because I think just, oh my gosh, it's annoying. Thigh highs are annoying, cosplay making companies. So, but yeah, I think in terms of like, gosh, that went really well. I think that was one thing. I didn't get a lot of like pictures taken, which is fine. I used to have this thought in my head, like, oh, I have to get lots of people to ask me for pictures in order for it to be successful. But this time it was like, no, like I'm enjoying myself and I feel very good about myself. So I'm enjoying myself right now. So it's a different kind of enjoyment, but I loved it.
And that's really like the main thing, right? Like if you loved it, that's the whole goal, I guess, is like that you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I think that's just something that like I'm still, getting used to or getting I am still learning myself because, cosplay, as much as I do love it, has created like a lot of like insecurities just of like body image, stuff like that. But it was like kind of just myself enjoying being in that skin for the day, like a Beto's outfit for the day. And yeah, like not needing anybody's validation in order to feel good about myself was like, yeah, this is my personal enjoyment. And that's what's the most important. Honestly, is you approving of yourself.
Absolutely. Now, I do want to mention for people that if they go to your Instagram page, definitely scroll because, there's some wonderful characters. I'm just going to, shout out a few of them. Love your Zelda.
Thank you.
Love your Azula.
Thank you.
Because, and anything Avatar: The Last Airbender has to be mentioned on this podcast. So I just got to make sure that I always mention that. And then I really love your go-go, your casual go-go, because I think Big Hero 6 does not get enough love and representation. And yes. It's always nice to see.
It's so underrated. So underrated. I love Big Hero 6. And I just remember I wasn't even thinking about go-go when I got my hair cut. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get this like peekaboo color. I'm gonna try it out, just chop my hair. Because I was actually blonde before. Like I dyed my hair blonde and I was like, my hair's unhealthy. I'm gonna just go back to black. So that's what happened. I went black and purple and then I posted it online and people were like, oh my gosh, you look like Go-Go. And I was like, oh, Oh, I kind of do. So inspired me to like actually got buy her cosplay or buy like pieces of it that fit. And yeah, like I felt really confident in her too. She was so much fun. And I think eventually one day I would like to do her, you know, her full costume of like the yellow and the black. It'd be really cool. That's a dream.
I'm even looking at the comments now, and my comment was, "This is so good. Love seeing big Hero 6 cosplays."
Yeah, like you don't see it very often. So it's like, you know, when people point it out, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so right. I have to do Big Hero 6. It's underrated. Love that movie very much.
Absolutely. With stuff, you know, coming up as far as the cosplay stuff, like on the cosplay side of things, like do you have a list of like, I would like to do X, Y, and Z character in the future, or is it more of a just like whenever you're inspired to cosplay, you're like, okay, let me figure out a character?
It's both. I do have like a cosplans list, and I have like a highlight on Instagram, but that needs to be updated because I made that during COVID, I think, and I haven't updated it since. I'm not very good at social media, if you can't tell. Just kidding. But it's also kind of like I have a group of friends who they're like, oh, I want to cosplay this character. And I'm like, oh my God, let's make it a group. And then it's kind of like impulsive. Like that kind of actually happened today with one of my friends who's like, I think I'm going to do this. And I was like, do you want someone to be this person with you? And she was like, yes. And so it's kind of impulsive. But then also, I recently did panty and stocking with my two of my best friends. And that's actually been something we've been planning for like, what, 4 years now? 3 to 4 years? And we only got around to doing it this year just because of like planning and stuff like that. And obviously, gosh, COVID, like can't really plan around that. But yeah, we've been planning on doing that for like a while. And then we're planning on doing JoJo Stone Ocean as well. So it's just kind of like some things I plan, some things I impulse buy. So yeah, it's a mix of both for sure.
Okay. Do you have a dream cosplay, like one character, one outfit where you're like, that is my goal in the future one day, I aspire for this?
That's a great question. I really don't know. I don't think I have that because I kind of just like have mostly the means to get the costumes. Like I work, you know, like I buy things as soon as I'm like, oh, I really want to do it. I'm just going to get it. I don't think there's like a dream cosplay that I've like, oh, one day I got you. Like, not that I can think of. One day, like, oh, like one day I'll do this. But no, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to just do it. I don't think I have a dream character who I'm like aspiring to do one day. Just because when I see a character I like, I just kind of go for it as soon as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the sake of making myself like happy, because I feel like once I start fixating on something, it gets to the point where I can't handle it. Like, I have to do this now or else.
Oh gosh, that's awesome. Like, cause that way you're just like, you get it done, bam, like, okay, yes. you got it out of your system until it builds back up again.
Yeah, and it's kind of like that's coming from a place of privilege where I could like be able to buy something fast, but yeah, I just kind of have this issue of like, I'm fixating on this character right now. I need to do it. And then I do it, and then I'm happy. And so it's just kind of like this itch I have to do. It's like, I got to get it done now. But
Okay. And on top of the cosplay, you're like a double threat because you also stream on Twitch.
oh, please, double threat. Thank you. Yes, I do. Like I said, or actually like you said, during the time that this is being filmed, I just moved into my new apartment, so things have been really busy. But yes, I'm planning on getting into streaming more often. But yeah, I like to chill out on Twitch and talk to people.
So how did you decide to start streaming? Because that's, going from like just playing video games, just throwing that out for most of the people on Twitch is like video games. Some people just like to play video games at the house and chill, and it's their own thing. But then taking the leap to like having a webcam and playing it in front of people, what was your desire to do that?
I think when my friend, one of my best friends from college, she started streaming on Twitch during like the pandemic, and I would just watch her, and I had like this itch to like, like I said, when I have an itch, I need to scratch it. I had this itch to like, oh my God, I need to talk to you right now. Like, I'm texting her through the Twitch chat, and she's talking back, and she's talking to other people. And it's like, watching her do that was like, oh my God, like, I want to do that too. Like, it looks so much fun. And right now with COVID, I have no social interaction other than like work. And it's like, oh my gosh, I could talk to my friends while playing a video game. This is like the best thing ever. Like, I can do that too. So eventually I was making, not that much at my previous, it was a job working with my mom. So, and I wasn't really doing much. I was just doing kind of like reception work. So I was not making a lot of money. I used multiple paychecks to be able to buy my very first PC, which I still am using, but there was some hiccups along the way with blue screens and software stuff. But eventually bought myself a PC, got myself a desk and a webcam, and albeit a crappy webcam at first, like, just started doing it. And it was kind of like scary at first because I'm like in the public eye of many strangers. But I think when I actually started it, I ended up being a lot more like comfortable the more time passed on. And it was really helpful, especially since a lot of my friends came to join my first streams. So it was making me more comfortable to talk on camera. And I'm actually like pretty extroverted in real life. Like, I'm not that great, like talking to people like through social media and stuff, but I'd like to think that in person I'm pretty approachable, and I love talking to new people and learning about themselves or learning about them, telling people about myself. Not too much though. And, so I think that kind of helped me just kind of like go into the world of streaming, and just, yeah, it was one of the best decisions I made ever. Just because of how fun it is.
What do you typically stream whenever you're like? Because obviously you when we're recording, you've just moved, so things are getting resituated. But what's your general like what you do if people are going to find you on Twitch doing?
So originally I used to just stream Genshin Impact, but I've actually noticed that I have a lot more fun doing just chatting streams. I like catching up with people. And it's kind of funny, like I do it after like a big hiatus, which I've taken multiple times. And showing people like things I've bought, like what's been going on. Like this past stream, I think it was last Friday, last Thursday, I'm not sure, but it was last week, I think. And I, did Rare Aesthetic, my new apartment, and also a haul. So I showed off things I bought from Teco, things I bought from Otakon, and also things I bought for the apartment, and just kind of reading through it and talking to people about life updates and things like that. And just, I think that's one of my favorite things. I want to branch out and do more, but it's kind of the thing I love doing most is just talking to people. So yeah, just chatting is
okay. I know I happened to jump into that stream, and one of the things you showed was your fridge and the stuff that was inside your fridge, and it's I remember those days of having a fridge that looked like that.
Oh my god. Oh David. I'm poor. No. But it's the reason why I did that was, I'm not sure if you remember, but my computer blue screened on me midstream, and I was like, oh my god, I can't leave people hanging. I'm gonna stream from my phone, which is actually the first time I've ever done that. And hopefully my computer doesn't do that again while I stream. But yeah, my fridge is empty and sad.
Yeah, you were I have no protein except for these protein drinks, and then I'm watching. I'm but you have eggs. Eggs are protein.
Oh God, yeah. I just sometimes it's easier to blend up a protein shake and just chug it all rather than make yourself something actually delicious, like eggs and vegetables.
I totally understand that, because it's I could make something, or I could just grab these cheese sticks right here and eat those, and move along with my day.
Absolutely. It's so easy to just grab something from the freezer and stick it into the toaster oven. That's what I did today for my dinner. So it's just easy to do that, especially when you're so busy. Like you said, today was hectic. So yeah.
Yep, it is what it is. There are those days where you're just I just gotta do this and get it done with.
Yeah, and it's really funny because I remember preparing to move out of my house. I was saving all of these recipes on Instagram. Oh, here's some chicken with mushrooms and vegetables and sauce. I'm gonna make this. And then I get to my apartment. It's all right, it's time for another protein shake today.
Another protein shake and a pack of ramen.
Ah, you read my mind. I had ramen earlier today. So worth it, though.
Absolutely. Now, Adrienne, for people that have listened and they're not only do I like some of the stuff you're into, or I'm going to go check it out, or I want to check out and see your next Twitch stream or what you're doing on the cosplay side of things, what are the best places for them to come and see what you're up to?
Okay, so I have multiple. So my Instagram is Adri.Nyan, and that's ADRI.Nyan, like meow in Japanese. My TikTok is where I'm also active, and my TikTok is still Totally Not Adrienne, which used to be my old name. But yeah, Totally Not Adrienne still on TikTok, where I make lots of Genshin content and yeah, Genshin memes and cosplay stuff. I do stuff on there. On Twitter, you can find me at Adri__Nyan. I'm pretty bad at posting on Twitter, just mostly because I use it to DM my group chat of friends. Mm-hmm. And on Twitch, if you want to check me out on there, I am also at Adri_Nyan. So that is I'm trying to think, like, is there any more? Like, do I do other stuff? But I'm thinking that is pretty much it. Like, yeah, if you want to check me out on there, yeah, like, let me know. Hit me up, give a follow, and yeah, I'm mostly pretty approachable on stream. I would say that Instagram DM, if I have not talked to you beforehand, please don't like hit me up on Instagram DM like, hey, because I'm usually not going to reply because sometimes it's like bots and I usually don't reply to bots. So yeah, check me out. And thank you so much for this talk, David. It was very fun.
Oh, it was my pleasure. I'm just thankful that you responded to my Instagram DM. But I don't just say like, hey, I like, I have my whole thing where I'm like, bam, podcast.
Yeah, and I knew it's like, he's also followed by a lot of my friends and mutuals, so he has to be, like trustworthy. And here we are, recording. And guys, listen to his podcast. He's great. Give him a follow as well. So, yeah.
Thank you for listening to Tales from the Fandom. Subscribe to us on iTunes or your podcast app of choice. Follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Tales from the Fandom to see photos, links, leave feedback, and check out upcoming guests. If you'd like to be a guest, email David at talesfromthefandom@gmail.com.